Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the official He-Man and the Masters of the Universe YouTube channel. My name is James Etok, and today I shall be talking about the rather dramatic sounding Blackstar connection. For those that don't know, in 1981, 2 years before He-Man, Filmation had produced a show called Blackstar. The series revolved around an Earthling who ends up on another planet wearing furry pants and wielding a mighty sword, as one does. Now, I'm not going to go in depth talking about Blackstar here because this is, after all, the official He-Man and the Masters, yeah, you get it by now. However, I am going to mention the notable occurrences in which elements of the Blackstar cartoon were referenced in He-Man. Let's start off with this sword-based transition as seen in many an episode of He-Man. What you may or may not know is that it originated from this sword-based transition as seen in Blackstar. Next, let's take a look at a notable appearance by Blackstar himself. Aside from being a storyboard artist, Michael Swanigan was also a huge fan of the shows Filmation had produced over the years and, wherever possible, would attempt to acknowledge these other shows in his storyboards. Swanigan storyboarded Temple of the Sun. You remember, the episode with Nepthu in? However, it wasn't until the episode went to layout that he suggested to the background artists that they should include one particular noteworthy item in this panning shot. Yes, right there in the background is a statue of Blackstar. And one must say it's a pretty impressive looking statue of Blackstar. But Swanigan wasn't even done yet. He also storyboarded The Remedy, an episode near the end of He-Man's first season. In the episode, He-Man encounters a Takdryl, that's Takdryl, which the script simply describes as a giant bird. Yeah, that's not much to work with, guys. Rather than give us a simple giant bird, Swanigan once more dipped into the Blackstar series, and Blackstar's steed, Warlog, became the Takdryl. Not only that, but many of Warlock's movements were simply reused in He-Man. Check out this swooping shot. There goes Blackstar, and there goes He-Man. And here's a little story for you. In 2012, Robert Lamb passed some animation cells my way. Upon first glance I said to him, an animation cell of Warlock, and he quickly directed my eyes to the bottom of the cell. For those that don't know, the letters MU were Filmation's code for Masters of the Universe, MU. In short, at some point during the production of The Remedy, the Takdryl was either intentionally or accidentally painted the same as Warlock. As you can see, these cells were eventually re-xeroxed and repainted to give the Takdryl a reddish hue. Amazingly, Swanigan had intended for there to be another Blackstar crossover in the very same episode. Don't look so shocked, Marianne. Here we have Mitro, a friend of Man-at-Arms' former teacher, Rohad. Check out his evil little eyes. He's actually a good guy. Originally, Swanigan had wanted Mitro to look like this. This version of Mitro is actually based on Bulkar, one of the Trobbits from Blackstar. And yes, I said Trobbits, not Hobbits. Swanigan had intended for Bulkar to be repurposed as Mitro. Sadly, this didn't come to pass. Barry Caldwell, another talented storyboard artist, had attempted to feature a reference to Blackstar in the episode The Return of Orko's Uncle. In this storyboard panel we see Orko floating over a lot of magical items and artefacts, one of them being Blackstar's Star Sword. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Sadly, as we can see in this footage from the episode, it wasn't referenced. Oh yeah, and this big red guy from the Blackstar episode City of the Ancient Ones, he later shows up as twins in the He-Man episode The Search. And as an added bonus, here are some sequences in which Blackstar footage will be reused for He-Man. Although in fairness, these sequences had first appeared in Filmation's Tarzan cartoon, but shh, we don't have the rights to that show. Oh, and before I forget, at one point during production of the Season 2 Shira episode The Caregiver, Shakra, the evil Horde's au pair that cared for Adora as she grew up in the Fright Zone, was originally going to reuse the character model for Mara from Blackstar. And finally, and yes, we're nearing the end of this adventure, one of the most interesting aspects of the Blackstar cartoon was the idea that the hero had a sword and the villain had a sword, and when these two swords combined, boom, they became the most powerful sword in the universe. Its connection to He-Man? Well, the original concept of Masters of the Universe had both He-Man and Skeletor each possessing a half of the Power Sword, and when these two swords combined, they became the most powerful sword in the universe, and they could open Castle Grayskull with it too. And there you have it. The Blackstar cartoon may have been short-lived with its 13 episodes, but it did, to a degree, influence He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and with its sword and sorcery elements prepared the writers, artists and animators at Filmation for the first season of He-Man. So that is the end. As always, comment on this video, like this video, share this video, watch this video backwards. And yes, subscribe to the channel.